Welcome to Barbara's Bulletin, the podcast where we bring you the latest news and updates from around the world. We have a lot to cover, so let's dive right in. Our top story today is coming from the Black Sea region, where Ukrainian attacks on Russian-held Crimea have prompted officials to halt civilian gasoline sales. According to reports, overnight strikes by Ukrainian forces killed 4 people and wounded 28 others, leading to a suspension of fuel sales to non-state companies and individuals. The Kremlin-appointed head of Crimea, Sergei Aksyonov, announced the move on social media, stating that fuel will only be sold to government agencies that ensure the functioning and security of the Republic of Crimea. This comes as Ukrainian forces have repeatedly targeted fuel supplies to Crimea in recent weeks, triggering a severe energy crisis in the region. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky described the attacks as part of Ukraine's long-range sanctions against Russia's energy infrastructure, saying that Russia understands only strength and that Ukraine's long-range strength is working for peace. Russian officials have reported drone strikes on a Black Sea oil terminal and a ferry, killing 1 person. The fuel shortages in Crimea have been ongoing, with authorities restricting gas sales to 20 liters per vehicle owner per week. Motorists have been lining up for hours to refuel, and some are even bringing their own gas from other regions. The situation has highlighted Ukraine's ability to inflict damage on Russia and change the course of the conflict. We'll continue to monitor this developing story and bring you updates as more information becomes available. For now, it's clear that the situation in Crimea remains volatile, with both sides exchanging blows and escalating tensions. We'll be right back with more of today's top news on Barbara's Bulletin. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. Today we're focusing on a critical issue affecting many parts of Europe, the severe heat wave that's been sweeping across the continent. Reports are coming in from France, Spain, Italy, and Germany, among other countries, where temperatures have been soaring into the triple digits. The heat has already claimed several lives, with authorities warning of the dangers of heat exhaustion and heat stroke, particularly for vulnerable populations such as the elderly and young children. In France, the government has taken measures to mitigate the effects of the heat, including banning public drinking in red alert zones and setting up misting stations to cool crowds. The country's annual Music Day celebration has also been impacted, with organizers limiting alcohol use to ensure emergency services can focus on those most in need. Meanwhile, Spain has suspended outdoor sports and cultural activities in certain regions, while Italy has expanded heat warnings to several cities. Germany has seen temperatures rise into the mid-90s, with reports of drowning incidents and strong currents in rivers. It's essential to note that human-caused climate change is linked to an increase in extreme weather events, including heat waves. The World Health Organization's Europe office has stated that most heat-related fatalities are preventable, highlighting the need for proactive measures to protect communities. As we continue to monitor this situation, it's crucial to prioritize public health and safety. We urge our listeners to stay informed about local conditions and take necessary precautions to stay cool and hydrated during this challenging time. Welcome back to Barbara's Bulletin. As we wrap up today's show, let's take a look at the developing story in Bolivia, where President Rodrigo Paz has declared a state of emergency in an effort to bring an end to the country's 50-day social crisis. The move, which was approved by lawmakers, aims to restore transit and supply essential goods after protesting groups blocked key roads, leaving many areas without access to food, fuel, and medicine. The protests began after President Paz cut long-standing fuel subsidies, sparking widespread unrest and demands for his resignation. Despite efforts to stabilize fuel prices and reverse unpopular land reforms, the situation continued to escalate. The declaration of a state of emergency has given the government the power to deploy military forces to clear roadblocks and maintain order. While some have welcomed the move as a necessary step to restore stability, others have expressed concerns that it could lead to further unrest and human rights violations. Analysts and legal experts have warned that the emergency powers could deepen the crisis if they fail to address the underlying causes of the protests. In recent developments, lawmakers have backed the state of emergency, and some protesting groups have begun to lift their blockades. The National Highway Authority has reported that there are no active blockades remaining related to protests, although many roads still require significant cleanup and repair. As the situation in Bolivia continues to unfold, it's clear that the road ahead will be challenging. The government will need to balance its efforts to maintain order with the need to address the legitimate concerns of protesters and work towards a more equitable and sustainable solution. That's all for today's Barber's Bulletin. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and until next time, stay engaged.